welcome all of you this afternoon. Thank you so much for coming out here. We are very honored for all of your presence here as we celebrate. We're very excited to have a expanded facility and a brand new veterinary services facility. We're in very challenging times, so I want to welcome all of our guests that were able to join today, but I also want to extend a very big thank you for watching us online as well for those of you that weren't able to attend. This project has been a long-term effort, a collaborative effort that we've been able to accomplish with a lot of support, not only from our internal Avigen team, but then also from our community, from our regulatory and state cooperation, and then also from our contracting company, which is Martin & Kobe Construction. Thank you very much for everything you guys have done. Very much appreciated. Dr. Tony Frazier, Alabama State Veterinarian, thank you very much for your continued support. We really appreciate it. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to some very special gentlemen with Avigen that will talk to you a little bit more about this project and then where Avigen stands currently and where our growth is taking us. I'd like to introduce Dr. Mark DeBeer. Mark has joined Avigen a few months ago as our president, and he'd like to say a few words to you.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you. And let me add my welcome to all of you. Welcome to the grand opening of our extension to our diagnostics lab and to our new vet services building. It is, I think Kate hinted at that, it is a reflection of our growth, right? We're very fortunate to be in the position we're in. The event we're having here today, it's a bit like everything in 2020. It's different than probably how we envisioned it. Certainly a year and a half or so ago when the project sort of took shape, I'm sure the vision for a day like today was something other than what we're looking at right now. Now, in the midst of all of that, having said that, we're pretty fortunate. You know, the one thing that hasn't really changed is that people continue to eat chicken, and they hopefully will continue to do so, right? In spite of all the uncertainty in the world today and in the US in particular. So we've been very fortunate to benefit from that, and so I think Kate thanked some of the folks. Let me add my thank you to all of the Avigen folks who made this happen. You know, when you're growing, it's nice. You can look at things and say, hey, we need this, we need to build, we need to grow. But it takes a certain amount of commitment and courage to make that happen, to make the commitment to build something. So Dr. Jensen, Kate, all of you, Sally, and everyone else who made that possible from an internal perspective. Martin and Kobe, thanks for your help. Although I hope it was a positive experience for you as it was for us. So and for all the other projects you've helped us with, and then all the other folks who've chipped in, like the regulatory folks and otherwise. So thanks for your help. Thanks for getting us here. One of the things we do, right? We really are a critical part of the food chain, right? So a huge portion of the world's chicken, one way or another, makes its way from this part of Alabama or Tennessee through a supply chain into the chicken around the world, and that doesn't happen without healthy flocks, without birds that are looked after, and without biosecurity. And that's what the lab's all about, right? We have experts here. I think we have 45 people working in the lab on any given day, and if Dr. Jensen has his way, it'll be a lot more than that here pretty soon. Again, another one of the beauties of growing. So real experts, folks, helping to keep our birds healthy, making sure from a welfare perspective they're being treated the right way. And then obviously that we are being very, very careful about managing any biosecurity threats. And then next door around the corner, you can't see it from here, but our vet services building houses another 20 folks who look after all of our internal flocks, right? They're not just doing the monitoring. These are folks who are out in the field doing what vets do and what biosecurity and welfare experts do. So really, really important that all those folks are here. This is one of 2 diagnostics labs we have here in the US, and one of 7 that are sort of strategically located around the world. So although it's a humble building in humble Elkmont, Alabama, that facility right there plays a huge role in the supply of food around the world. Even if you drive past, you may not realize that, but that is a critical facility for securing the world's food supply. So we're very grateful for all of you to be here. For all of those of you who couldn't be here, I hope you enjoy the virtual experience that we'll put on, and hopefully you'll enjoy the virtual tour. But once again, thanks very much, and let's hope that you know, in spite of all the uncertainty, people continue to eat chicken, and we'll continue to supply it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. Appreciate it. here.
Your sound's on.
Thank you. Next, I would like to introduce Dr. Eric Jensen. Eric is our Vice President of Veterinary Services. And really from my team, the bottom of our heart, we really appreciate all that he does. He has forever been supportive of all that we do. And he has a few words to talk to everybody about what this lab means, what testing and improvements that we've made with this expansion. And I'd like you all to welcome Eric.
Thanks, Kate. So this is a very exciting time for veterinary services. Many of you may remember that just in 2011, June of 2011, we opened a new laboratory here in Elkmont, this original facility. And since that 9 years ago, a lot has happened with Avigen. So demand for our products has increased dramatically, and even with the impact of COVID-19 on the world, the poultry production industry continues to see growth. So to support our production base has grown to the extent that we are running out of space, particularly in the bacteriology lab. And so to keep up with increased requirements for testing, we needed an expansion. Also during this period, advances in technology have been made, and if we want to be able to incorporate those into our processes, we needed to reconfigure some of our laboratory space. So here today, having another grand opening for a recently completed expansion, I would like to thank two people in particular, Sally Starks and Eric Chisholm, as they were very instrumental in helping develop the business case for the facility expansion. And then the design and the project was truly a team effort with members of each department contributing and led by the efforts of Dr. Lola Crespo, our lab manager, as well as Dr. Kate Hayes. There are two components, as we've heard, in this expansion. The first was doubling the existing laboratory space. Because of the increase in the volume of sample submissions, we added a new and much larger sample receiving room. The new bacteriology lab is also much larger and provides more space for technicians to work, as well as for new state-of-the-art equipment. Recent equipment upgrades allow us to identify bacteria more quickly and accurately, as well as conduct antibiotic sensitivities, all within a single test. We have added a walk-in incubator that is used to provide the optimal environment for growing bacteria and is more space efficient than utilizing lots of individual incubators. We have also seen that there has been significant innovation in molecular diagnostics, and we expect this to continue and our workload in that area to increase. So we have doubled our molecular laboratory with a much improved workflow. The second component of the expansion was the new veterinary services building. It does include space for our large veterinary team, as well as our welfare and compliance specialists. And so, and as Mark mentioned, they're very critical to our process, but it also has a new space for our monitoring team, which is growing as the farm base grows. And those people are critical as anybody in this whole process, because if we don't get good samples, we don't get good test results. So they're all a critical part of this effort. The building also represents an improvement in biosecurity, as it keeps these teams completely separated from the laboratories. With this expansion, we have the facilities in place to meet our current needs, as well as for the foreseeable future growth. The lab has received the ISO 17025 accreditation. Each year, we have plans to add additional tests under scope so that we can continue to ensure that our testing meets the highest quality standards. But it is our motivated management team, dedicated laboratory technicians, along with the veterinarian monitoring teams working in concert, that makes our effort such a success. Be assured that Avigen has the teams, technology, and quality systems in place to protect the health and welfare of our flocks, support our internal production, as well as our customers. So thank you all for coming. Now, I believe our laboratory director, Dr. Lola Crespo, will be leading a tour of the new facilities.